update on traffic. Which would you rather start with, the good or the bad news?
Yeah, how about the bad?
Okay.
If it's all good, I'll have to find another job. 10 inbound San Jacinto near the brewery downtown. It's an accident. They're sitting in a right lane. Also, brand new accident. This one's up on the North Loop. It's supposed to be westbound of the Hardy Toll Road. Looks like they're in a left lane. And the better news Dave's talking about is the inbound accident. 45 Rankin with the 18-wheeler was there for over 2 hours. They have cleared it. It's loosening up from 1960. I'm Jared Carroll.
Still to come in this half hour, we'll have a closer look at the president's criticism of the healthcare system and his promises to encourage competition and lower drug prices. Those stories in the Marketplace Morning Report coming up at 7:51. Support for Houston Public Media comes from members like you and from the doers at Chevron, part of the Big Game 2017 host committee and a proud member of the Houston community. Counting down to Sunday. More at HOUSuperBowl.com. 78 for the high today, again 61 at 7:42.
From NPR News in Washington, I'm Dave Mattingly. Republicans are praising President Trump's nomination of Neil Gorsuch to the U.S. Supreme Court. Gorsuch is known as a conservative judge who spent more than a decade on the 10th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Denver. NPR's Ron Elving says Gorsuch is viewed by his supporters as someone in the same mold as the late Justice Antonin Scalia.
Terms such as strict constructionist and originalist have become popular in recent years, largely popularized by Antonin Scalia himself, who obviously Judge Gorsuch would be replacing. But the terms generally just mean that these are judges who look backward for their interpretive inspiration. That is to say, they ask themselves, what did the framers of the Constitution mean at the time?
Senate Democrats have begun voicing objections to Gorsuch. Japan's prime minister is downplaying speculation that his country might bring currency restrictions to future trade negotiations. John Matthews reports from Tokyo.
Prime Minister Shinzo Abe says the Bank of Japan's quantitative easing is attempting to achieve their 2% inflation target. He also says the nation won't be bringing currency restrictions to the table in any future trade negotiations. Many of Japan's export-heavy industries rely on a weaker yen. Several companies report that even slight gains in the yen lead to multi-million-dollar losses in operating profit.
I'm Dave Mattingly, NPR News in Washington.
And in Houston, it's Morning Edition on your NPR station, News 88.7. I'm David Piffin with you, and still ahead on the program. As you've been hearing all morning, President Trump has made his choice to fill the vacancy on the U.S. Supreme Court.
Judge Gorsuch has outstanding legal skills, a brilliant mind, tremendous discipline, and has earned bipartisan support.
NPR's Nina Totenberg will have a closer look at just what type of justice Neil Gorsuch might be. That's at 8:14. It's 7:44.
This is the engines of our ingenuity, made possible in part by ENGIE, sustainable energy and tools for efficiency and carbon reduction.
Today, a boy's world a century ago. The University of Houston's College of Engineering presents this series about the machines that make our civilization run and the people whose ingenuity created them. The year is 1913, a decade after the Wrights flew and a year before World War I. Ford has just begun mass-producing Model Ts, and you power your telephone with large dry-celled batteries from the hardware store. That year, 1913, Popular Mechanics magazine put out a book titled The Boy Mechanic, 700 Things for Boys to Do. The frontispiece shows a boy stepping off a cliff in a glider built according to instructions on page 171. The glider is rather like the ones that flight pioneer Otto Lilienthal had flown until 1896, when he fell to his death in one. There were few lawsuits and no OSHA in 1913. If you read this wonderful old book and then killed yourself, it was your carelessness, not the publisher's. You'd better make the joints secure when you build the wing. So what else have we for a boy to do? Electricity looms large. You can rig a device that'll ring a bell when a fish strikes a line you drop through the ice. Or you can rig magnets below an Ouija board and compose your own spirit messages. We read how to counterfeit pennies. Make a wax impression of the penny, coat the wax with black lead, and then electroplate the penny into the wax mold. The trick is to make a battery cell from a strip of zinc in an electrolytic solution. The authors talk not about pennies,